what Drew is really doing is trying to bring the enemy close.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But really bring down, bro. You can't trust family, man. You can't. Look at the money what were the Usos doing before you, man? And let him be Roman Reigns' muscle. But he's doing it to
stab him in the back.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Riding with Root. Look at him. Already got the guns blazing, man. He's got the other one right. Burner. Vince Russo. What was what was the rhyme and reason? I know that it was a super popular rock song as far as your theme song, right?
Yeah, so, Iron Man, yeah.
Iron Man, right. So same as what the Road Warriors used to have.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what was the rhyme and reason behind the theme song of Vince Russo?
Well, bro, I used to actually, back in 91, man, when I was doing Vicious Vincent's World of Wrestling, I was actually using that song.
Oh, were you?
So nice. When I went to WCW, I guess Jimmy Hart, just altered the song a little bit so I'd be able to keep using it. I just like the song, that's all.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I know that you had your own, video store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What other business endeavors did you have?
Oh my God. Well, I had 2 video stores on Long Island. And then was there anything else? No. Then I had a CD warehouse in Georgia.
Nice.
And then I had a Philly pretzel factory right here in Colorado.
Very nice, man.
Yeah,
nice.
I've been through the gamut, man. Yes.
What's your thought process in starting small businesses, man?
I just never wanted to go back to wrestling, bro.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just did not want to go back to wrestling, and that's the problem, bro. When you have a resume that reeks wrestling, who's going to hire you? Where are you going to go? So I kept getting back in my own business.
Arn Anderson said that one time in one of his interviews some years ago. He was just like, man, my life is wrestling. He's like, I have no other resume item to give you, basically. He just, that's the reason why it's like there's a pro and a con in that. The pro is that you make good money in the wrestling business. The con is if you want to step out of the wrestling business, you're not going to make that kind of money. So,
but bro, not only are you not going to make that kind of money, you may not find a job.
True. Yeah, it's just and if you do, it's going to be something that's very low on the totem pole. And people were talking about I think Shane Douglas, he had a regular job, and I think PJ Polanco had a regular job, and people were talking about that. But it's like, look, kudos to them, man. If they want to have just a life after wrestling and get them some income.
Bro, I would take a regular job that I enjoyed in a heartbeat. I think Tony Schiavone worked at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Bro, I love working at a coffee place. I'm such a coffee mark, bro. I would love working at a coffee place.
Yeah, go for
Wouldn't bother me at all.
Absolutely. It was did you follow the Cosby Show when you were?
Yeah, not that closely, but I did. Yeah.
So there was so Lisa Bonet's. I think he played Lisa Bonet's.
Alvin, you're talking about Alvin, who he didn't play Lisa Bonet's. He played the older sister's husband.
Yes, he played,
and he wound up working at. It wasn't Starbucks. It was like Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's, yes.
Yeah, I think it was Trader. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, bro. I see no problem with that.
He said he had to take care of his family, man. And people,
man.
They were so into celebrities or how invincible and have this ongoing royalty lifetime that they
Baloney, bro. We're all people who have to do what we got to do.
absolutely,
I got no issues with that, man.
yeah, and he had to find, he had to live his life, man.
Yeah.
And then kudos to Tyler Perry though, because Tyler Perry grabbed him up and had him be in a couple of his series of have not. So,
and bro, he was good in the Cosby Show. He was one of my favorite characters.
He was
bro.
good. Yeah,
he was really good.
He was really good, man. I enjoyed him. Speaking of characters, we got someone called the Scottish Warrior, Vince Russo, and that guy's Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre he's been on the shelf for a while, and he did get drafted to Raw, but we have not seen Drew McIntyre. When's the last time we saw Drew McIntyre, by the way? What did he have a Mania spot? The last time we saw Drew McIntyre, it was him and it was a triple threat. Him, Gunther, and Sheamus, right? For the at WrestleMania.
I think so.
Oh, I think that's the last time we saw Drew McIntyre, if I'm not mistaken. That was a banger of a match, and that was as of this recording about 2.5 months ago. So he's been on the shelf, and I know he's been banged up for a while. Got drafted to Raw, but we haven't seen him. Rich Holland said in a recent interview, he said, as far as Drew's status, he said he's fine. Drew's fine. Yeah, he's probably in the gym as we speak, lifting 2 cows. He's fine. Drew is good. I don't know for sure. I don't know anything. But I think whether it is a month from now, 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, you will see Drew McIntyre back in WWE. Before I ask you, Vince, how you would book Drew McIntyre's return, you worked in WWE, and it wasn't as interview heavy as it is now, as far as just like the web and stuff like that. I know that was, they're like bite this, and they still had to stay in kayfabe a lot when it came to that. But with all these like dirt sheets and interview sites and things like that, what do you think the WWE's protocol is when it comes to not giving any, like not spilling any tea, so to speak? Do you think that there's like an order for these wrestlers to say certain things and not make anything confirmed and be super indirect like that quote was?
Yeah, bro. The problem is there's so many men and women on the roster, and like everybody has to be treated differently. Like some people know how to handle the press, some people don't. Some people tell them everything. Some of the boys and the women are rats to the dirt sheets. It just so that's why the WWE really does need some protocol, because you can't have the same line across the board, because quite frankly, some people you can trust and some people you can't. So I have no problem on them like putting the clamps on people when it comes to social media, because bro, people will just go out there and talk just to get themselves over, man.
Yeah. It is funny that you say that. Could someone do that to and help their brand? Like, say for instance, if there's like a Mustafa Ali, so to speak, and I'm always going to reference Mustafa Ali because he has a fondness for you, Vince Russo. And so if Mustafa Ali gets interviewed by Sportskeeda, for instance, and Mustafa just straight up shoots and say, I'm not quite sure what they're doing with me. I have no idea why they brought me back to NXT. I think it's a demotion, if you ask me. I just came from being in an Intercontinental Championship match against Gunther in Saudi Arabia to some NXT gig. If you ask me, I was told by Triple H that there's something to come out of this, but I've already done Retribution. I've already done so many iterations.
They're too afraid to do that, bro.
That I've done so many iterations of me that I just don't feel comfortable with anything that Triple H says. So if he just shoots like that, wouldn't that essentially help his brand though?
No. Well, are you talking about outside or inside the company? Inside the company. Yeah, inside the company, he's dead.
No.
Outside the company, he's going to be over with the marks. And what does that really mean?
Well, isn't that the audience, though?
It is the audience, but at the end of the day, man, it's got to equate to dollars and cents. That's all that really matters. Who cares if you're over with the audience if you're not making any money?
I guarantee you, with the promo like that, and say, so WWE firing Mustafa Ali would actually help his momentum because he was able to shoot. Then WWE let him go, and then someone like a Tony Khan would pick him up. With before you can say Mustafa Ali, Tony Khan's already signed him on a deal. Yeah. And that can be a shiny new toy for Tony Khan.
Yeah, bro, that's the thing. It's such a different world because Tony Khan is in it.
Sure.
Because we all know, bro, Tony Khan is a mark. Tony Khan listens 1,000% from the internet. Tony Khan will pay people a lot of money just to have another toy in the toy chest. It's a totally different world. If he was not involved in this, man, there'd be a lot of wrestlers right now that would really be screwed.
Yeah. So isn't that a plus that Khan's involved?
Oh, for the boys, it definitely is. Absolutely for the boys, yeah.
Indeed. So there was rumors that Drew would possibly be at All Out, and according to Rich Holland, he doesn't think so.
Who is Rich Holland?
He's a part of the Brawling Brutes with Sheamus and Butch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what he said about it. So Vince, how would you book Drew McIntyre?
Bro, I was just thinking of this off the top of my head because you just hit me with it. I didn't know we were going to talk about Drew McIntyre today. I'll tell you what I would do with Drew McIntyre. They don't think like I do, though, bro. They're very, very simpletons. Here's how I would book Drew McIntyre. I would let him befriend Roman Reigns. And I would, because the story is, bro, it's, started with Sammy and now he's got the problem with the Usos, and it's kind of turning into a situation of the world against Roman Reigns.
Sure.
And how about if, Drew McIntyre, backed him up and basically said, bro, he's done nothing but made everybody around him money. And they're so ungrateful. They have no idea. However, go down that road, but what Drew is really doing is trying to bring the enemy close. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But really bring down, bro, you can't trust family, man. You can't. Look at the money what were the Usos doing before you, man? Mm-hmm. And let him be Roman Reigns' muscle. But he's doing it to
stab him in the back.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's what I would do.
I like it. I think that's a really cool way to cause some intrigue. You can bring him in, the bloodline, gimmick, and just, it's him and Roman. He's playing as heavy, you know what I mean? And he's the one who just claymores, the Usos and things like that. And that would be interesting. And then the turn of the year or the beginning of the year, at that time, so here's my question. Like the turn, do you think you should build up to it and do a slow burn? Or do you do just like a Claymore out of nowhere, bang, just get that immediate crowd reaction from Drew?
I would really build it. And at the, like I said, bro, the biggest problem with the business all the time, you hear me use this term all the time, is setting the table.
Sure.
They don't set the table for anybody anymore. I would set the table, bro. I don't care if it took 6 months. I don't care if it took a year. I would set the table to that exact moment when, that title is on the line and, he's looking for Drew. I mean, really set the table for that exact moment. And then the beautiful thing about that is if Drew causes him to lose the title, well, now you've got something for Roman Reigns to do without the title. You know what I'm saying? And perhaps you could start, building somebody else. But see, it's stuff like that that I love. But I've just lost all hope in them doing anything cool, bro. It's not gonna happen, man.
What do you think about this? So if it was like because I know that you're about sparking the interest of the audience and GTV and things like that. So I wonder if it was like there was a triple threat match for the title, say Roman Reigns, so this is SmackDown. Well, Drew got drafted to the Raw, but why does that even matter anymore?
Yeah, nobody.
Paul Heyman is appearing on Raw.
Yeah, nobody even remembers that anyway.
So if say Drew does go to SmackDown, and eventually there's like beginning of the year or something like that, if there's a triple threat match, say at the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns versus whatever big baby faces is around at the time, maybe if Jay and Roman have beef, or Jimmy and Roman have beef, and then you say there's a triple threat match, and there's a mystery third person in the triple threat match, right? So especially if it's Jay and Roman, people are going to think like, oh, it must be Jimmy. It must be Jimmy. And then all of a sudden, like, we don't see the third person yet. We don't see the third person. And then Jimmy and Jay and Roman are going against each other, say, or Jimmy and Ray are going against each other, or Roman going against each other. Jimmy, Roman in the ring, boom, boom, boom. Who's the third person? Who's the third person? Drew's outside and Jay's outside. So they're in the corner. So people aren't thinking it's them. And people are like, they're in the back. They're like, okay, so what's going on? And all of a sudden, Jay comes in. People think that he might be the third person, but he's helping Roman. And all of a sudden, Drew slides in. Bam! Claymore's Roman. And then that's it, man.
Bro, you could it's all in the storytelling, because if you did it right, it could have the impact of a Hogan joining the NWO. It could have that kind of, but bro, that takes months and years, man.
Oh yeah.
They can't do that anymore, man.